This is the story of why I pretend to be a tiger on the internet. In 2010, someone created a Facebook page for Louisiana State University's live tiger mascot, Mike 6, but without LSU's permission. So LSU had it taken down and decided to create a legitimate page for Mike. It was given to me because the LSU School of Veterinary Medicine is in charge of Mike's care, and I'm the public relations director for the vet school. The thought was that the vet school would be the best source of information about Mike, but nobody actually consulted me. I had no idea what I was going to do. Mike is an amazing animal, but he doesn't do a whole lot. I have no problem speaking on behalf of the vet school and saying we, because we at the vet school have a mission statement and events and people who do stuff. I did have a problem speaking on behalf of a 440-pound apex predator who just hangs out doing tiger things, mostly sleeping and swimming. It is fun to go watch him do these things, but they do not lend themselves to scintillating Facebook posts. So the first big obstacle was not knowing what to say. The second was not knowing how to say it. I know that some people call public relations professionals spin doctors, but there is a code of ethics for public relations, and most PR professionals take this code seriously. So as ridiculous as this might sound, I felt it was wrong to speak as Mike the Tiger because I know that I'm not Mike the Tiger. I don't know what his opinions are. I don't know if he's excited that the football team beat Florida, or if he thinks Nick Saban is the devil. I was okay speaking on his behalf, but I was very uncomfortable speaking as him. Also, probably because I was so panicked about filling this gaping Facebook hole, I treated it like a crisis communications problem, which in public relations means you act as your own devil's advocate when you go through different communication scenarios. So when a crisis occurs, or when you're preparing for what might end up being a crisis, you decide on the best way to communicate the solution, but also how to respond to any negative reactions to that solution. So when I envisioned Mike's Facebook page and saying the worst thing that I thought would happen would be tons of people rising up and saying, we know the tiger's not really doing his own Facebook page. How stupid do you think we are? Who is this? And I had no idea how I was going to respond to those people. I mean, what was I going to say? Okay, you caught me. I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. So, no first person. I did come up with a solution, but managed to ruin it. Mike's veterinarian has written a book that covers all the live tigers through LSU's history. So, I took information from this book and put it on Mike's Facebook page. Not bad, and it probably would have been fine, except I didn't alter the information for the different medium. So while a sentence works beautifully when it has context within a chapter, it does not work so well when you just snatch it from that book and throw it up on Facebook like spaghetti on your kitchen wall. When you do that, this happens. Mike 1 arrived on campus on October 21st, 1936. Oh, it gets better. He died on June 29th, 1956, of complications associated with kidney disease. Following Mike's death, his pelt was mounted and is now on display at LSU's Louisiana Museum of Natural History. I show you this because it is the trifecta of bad Facebook posts. 1, it is so boring. 2, while I do not think there is a hard and fast rule that says thou shalt not discuss dead things on Facebook, I do believe that for people who do social media professionally, perhaps it's best if we not mention dead things. And 3, if we must talk about a dead thing, let's not mention where the dead thing's pelt is located. Let's just avoid remains altogether. Now, I did this for an embarrassingly long time. Now, on some level, I did still feel that first person was the way to go. I just wasn't sure how to do it in a way that I felt protected. Staying inside this morning so my yard can get spruced up. I did this a few times, and I was okay using first person here because if you'll notice, I very sneakily don't actually say I. And this isn't an opinion or a feeling. This actually happened, so I felt I could defend it if anybody fussed. Now, I probably would have gone on floundering around like this for a while longer before hopefully snapping out of it, but we'll never know. Because before I had the chance to come to my senses, this happened. This is significant for a couple of reasons. First, adorable. Second, nobody ever posted anything on Mike's page back then. Tumbleweeds are blowing across this thing. So the fact that somebody posted something was huge. And then I read the post, and this child was sick, and his father was asking for prayers, and I thought, wow, somebody should say something. Right. Now, I am ashamed to say that I typed. I didn't post, but I typed. We are so sorry to hear about your son. Please tell him that Mike says. And then I looked at the icon, and it's Mike. It's not me. It's not the LSU logo, not the LSU campus, Mike. And I thought, what the hell is wrong with you? If this kid writes a letter to Santa Claus, he doesn't want to hear back from Santa's secretary. So I wrote the post as Mike. And not only did people not get upset, but Mike got compliments for being sweet. So now Mike was doing the talking, but it's still dull. This is just one tiny fraction of my day. I have other things to do. And one day, I didn't have time to look up a fun fact, so I just posted something silly. Do these stripes make me look fat? Not intended to impart any knowledge, but it started a discussion about Mike's weight and his diet. So something I intended as filler ended up educating people and engaging them. When you do social media for an organization, it is so easy to fall into the trap of just using social media as another website, just a way to put out information. But what makes social media work is that it's not static. What makes social media different from your website is the dialogue. Social media allows Mike's fans to engage with him in a whole new way. And I have learned to take leaps in how Mike communicates with his social media audience. It's okay to be a little silly. It's okay to show behind-the-scenes photos and videos of Mike's life. It's also okay to shape his dinner into an opposing team's logo the night before a football game. Now, Mike interacts with more than 100,000 people on social media. And those people talk to Mike, not me. Though sometimes someone will post something like, wow, Mike, you sure type well considering you have such big paws, or gee, Mike, you must have a really big keyboard, as if the only logistical hurdle to overcome is the fact that he can't type. Forget that he's illiterate and has never even heard of Facebook. We get it because he can't type. So why is it okay for me to pretend to be a tiger? Because Mike the Tiger is a big part of what makes LSU and even Baton Rouge special. LSU has had a live tiger since 1936, as we learned from that terrible post. And Mike is one of only 2 live tiger college mascots in the United States. He's the only one living on a college campus. So many people feel like they grew up with him or one of his predecessors, or they stop by to see him every day on their way to work or to class. Before social media, interaction with Mike was one way. You'd go to the habitat to see him, but that was about it. Now, you can see him whenever you want, no matter where you are. You can talk to him and get a reply. It's okay for me to pretend to be a tiger because it allows people to express their affection for Mike to Mike and to learn about Mike and tigers in general. It is an honor for us to claim Mike as ours, all of ours. It's okay for me to pretend to be a tiger because it brings people closer to Mike and to LSU. And I am proud to be a tiger. Thank you.